Hey guys, hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm here on my computer. Hi. Welcome. I'm here on my computer, right? And I'm trying to figure out
My grandma just called me a fucking nigger. I don't know.
how.
She's mad, so
Alexa, next song. What in the world is wrong with her? What's her problem, y'all? What is her problem, y'all? What's up, y'all? Hold on, let me turn her down. Because she getting on my nerves already. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? So I had scheduled. I please forgive me, guys. Please forgive me. I scheduled a live, right? I scheduled it for 8 o'clock, but I don't know how to actually go into it. Isn't that funny, guys? I don't know how to go. I don't know how to get into it. So I was like, okay, I'll just go live right here on my computer. Let me see if I could delete this. But how y'all doing tonight? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you're feeling good. We are going to have a special guest on tonight. It won't let me freaking delete this. Okay, let me see. Can I go to the scheduled? I can't. Interesting. Okay, I can't cancel that scheduled live. So hopefully everybody has their notifications on and they come and they join in. Gonna go ahead and text our guest so that they know that I'm live. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pin the link. Once I know that they're in the room, I'm gonna tell her to text me. Okay, yep. Oh God, y'all. I am feeling really, I don't know. I feel good today. I had a really good day today, y'all. I went for a walk. It was quite invigorating. Um, I actually went into town because I ran out of coffee. And that, my friend, is an emergency around here. I don't know about in your parts, but over here, no coffee. That's a medical emergency. I have to have my coffee, y'all. I'm not as bad as I used to be. Hold on, y'all. Oh, I'm certainly not as bad with the coffee as I used to be, but I do enjoy having my coffee. So it's definitely a must. Let's see if that's my guess. I'm live. Let me send her the live. Let me see how many people in here. Let me see how many people in here. Yeah, there's people in here. She said she didn't see my live, y'all. I wonder if everybody's waiting for that other damn live. Lord. Let me see if I can. Who's in the room? Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'm gonna get started. Even if anybody else is over on the other channel. Who's in the room? Okay. All right. Cool. I'm trying to get my headsets to connect, y'all. They not connected because I have a hard time hearing. Hold up, y'all. Let me get myself situated real quick. Let me do that. Okay, let me get my headset situated and get myself connected. All right, there we go. Now, with this, there will be a little bit of a lag. So, once I bring y'all up, just know that. How do I add people over here? I'm trying to drop the link here. What's going on with this thing? Really? I'm having technical difficulties, y'all. Hold on. Okay. I don't know what's going on. My computer will not allow me to paste it, so I'm getting really irritated right now. Un momento. Let me relax. Wow, y'all. This thing. Okay, let me see. Do I need to click off of this first? Okay, let's see. Maybe I didn't copy. Okay. Yes, sir. You know you want them. Get your V. Oh my goodness, really? Oh my God. Alexa, skip. Alexa, next song. What the hell is she doing, y'all? She over here tripping. I don't know. What's her problem? I got her playing non-copyrighted music, but she be getting crazy, y'all. She be getting out of control. I promise you she do. All right, y'all. So it's a few of y'all in here. I'm ready to get started. So I'm gonna pin this. But before we bring up our special guest, let me turn this down. Okay, so I think everybody's over at the other thing waiting for me to start that damn 8 o'clock live, y'all. I feel like, how do I just, let me see. Because it's usually more people than this in here. Damn. I'm trying to pin the link, but you could go ahead and come on up whenever you're ready to. I'll let you into the studio. So we can go ahead and get, I'm having technical difficulties over here. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to the chat. Welcome. Why is this not working? Lord have mercy. I tell you, boy, just for me to pin this on thing, I gotta go back. All right, y'all. So, anywho, before we get started, before we get into it, my special guest tonight is going to be Kaja. I don't know how many of you know her or know of her, but she was affiliated with Carbonation. I'm not really clear fully on her affiliation, so we're going to get into that tonight. We're also going to be speaking to Talib. Now, interestingly enough, Talib is the leader. Well, still is. I would consider him to be still is the leader of Light Crown Melanin tribe. They're based out of Puerto Rico. So let me let y'all in. I'm gonna let y'all up in the studio. Is that y'all? Let me make sure. Yep, that's you guys. Child, I wanted to make sure. Hey,
There we go.
It is real.
Peace.
Peace and
how
love.
are you?
Why is it
Doing
so
great.
small?
Hot as usual. Sweating already.
It's nice and tropical over there, isn't it?
Yeah. It's hot
Uh-huh.
in the car. But yeah, how you doing?
I am doing great. It was hot here today too. I really enjoyed the weather and I took advantage of it. I went for a walk. I went to the store. I ran out of coffee. I think I told you this earlier, Kaja. I ran out of coffee and it was an emergency.
Yep.
Yeah, so um before we even get into anything, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you guys for taking the time out, to come on the platform and even speak to me. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. And let's see.
I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Okay, good,
I
good. So
appreciate the invite.
there's going to be a little bit of a lag because I am wearing my earbuds and I'm listening on my other device because I don't really hear that well through my laptop, but I want to make sure that I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it is now.
Can you hear us from back here? I mean from can you hear us good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh great, thank you.
You
Perfect.
guys are loud and clear. All right, so let's see. Um, 1 minute. Give me 1 second, y'all. So I'm gonna start off with tell me a little bit about yourself, and whichever one of you want to go first, you can.
Mm.
Man, it for me, well first off, peace and love. I'm Talib on Instagram, social media. I go by well specifically on Instagram. I'm from Georgia. Um I think I'm 37. I don't be keeping up. I think I'm 37. Um, I came to the tropics about 3 years ago. I wanted to come here back in, I say about 2016, but I had a whole lot of things that were holding me back at the time, and I wound up not coming. However, as I stayed in the States, I learned a lot of practices about gardening and farming and the way that human beings should live. And I didn't really seek out other people that wanted to do this. It was really wanted for myself. Whatever came of it was just gonna be whatever came of it. But yeah, I learned a lot about nature and fasting and being healthy, and I just learned a lot. And I've how do I want to say it? How do I want to say it? Just like everybody else, I've gone through my struggles and my shortcomings and my success. And at a certain point, I kind of wanted to share my story with the world, but I really didn't think it's that important. And I still really don't think it's that important. I think it's the most important thing in life is just to be the best version of yourself and to be the best version of myself. Excuse me. So yeah, I've just been here for a long time. I've been here 3 years, and networking a lot, met a lot of people, worked for the Miss World pageant when I was here. I've been through a lot of experiences. If you say, tell me a little bit about yourself, to me, I really got a lot to say. I'm a Gemini. I talk all the time. So I can keep on going. So go ahead, Kaj. You take the floor.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm Khadija, formerly. Um, yeah, I I came to the tropics in after you like in May.
Like May the
Of
13th.
Yep, May the 13th of 2021. At For this portion of my journey I was invited um by a friend of Talib's who was here um at the old house.
Yeah.
That Talib had had together for everybody, had there for everybody. And yeah, it's been, and by far, I came here for like kind of just a trip to come visit and meet everybody. And I stayed for a month. And during that time, when it was like my time to go, I was like, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna sell my apartment, sell everything, and I'm gonna come back because I love the experience so much here.
You sell your stuff in your apartment?
Yeah.
No, I was about to say sell your apartment. Dang, you balling.
No, but I did. Yeah, I did sell my apartment.
Okay.
And so, and that being said, it was like I had already traveled. So like I've traveled internationally. I've traveled to multiple states. And for me to make that decision, it was like I knew like this was by far like the best like environment that I had been to, thus far. So here I am. So it's yeah, it was really profound. It was a profound experience, and I'm still here. I'm really thankful for the years.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm happy to have both of you. And one of the main reasons, or the biggest reason I wanted you guys to come on, is because where we all know that there's an affiliation between you and Carbonation, Kaja.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Yeah, I have. I did my carbonation time. That was in 2019. Before I came here, I was living in Arizona. And I developed a relationship with Eligio and whatnot. And he had invited me to he was in Mexico at the time. And I didn't go to Mexico because he was leaving Mexico, but I went and joined the group, and they were at Nicaragua at the time. And so that was my beginning of my journey with them. As I went to Nicaragua. Eligio was at that time, right before I arrived, he had got put in the political prison. And so I spent the time with the group there, just the group. And we would visit him at the prison every day. Um, and then after that, when he got released, I continued along. I met with him and Velvet and the baby in Texas. We traveled to California and then continued on to Panama. And that's when, I left and just continued on.
Well, let me back up. Let me back you up a little bit because I do remember watching around that time. And I remember, excuse me, I remember one day that I think you came on the live and Eligio announced to the world that you were one of his new wives.
Okay.
Is my memory correct?
I think so. However, I'm kind of taken aback because I haven't had anybody up until now like recall that. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he did. he definitely made an announcement.
Had emojis and everything.
Oh yeah, I was one of the wife emojis on his page. I remember that because there was he
He
had the
did. It was off the chain.
yeah, he had the four all the different shades of the queens, how they have on the emojis, and I was the light skin emoji.
The lights.
Now, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw you on the live with him and him making the announcement, it seemed as if you were shocked that he made that announcement. Were you ready for it or no?
I'm still shocked when you mentioned it just now. I'm like, whoa, that's right, that did happen. Yeah. Um, was I ready for it? I mean, no, but no, I guess I guess not. I don't know. I was just going with the flow, and he wanted to announce me. I went with it, and I mean, yeah, I was honored. So I shocked and honored, and mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when you went to Nicaragua, you were there supporting and staying with the tribe and the family,
Huh?
and then you said you went to when he got deported. You continued on. Now, while you were with Eligio and Velvet, did you witness any fighting, any arguing? Because word on the curb is that they fight all the time and they argue all the time. So, what was that experience like being around the two of them?
Yeah, once I was with them, um there was some tension, I'd say, that arrived quickly from Velvet. Like she seemed very irritated, and then at one point she got had a, what did they use to call it? She's having a not a situation. What did he
Not
used
a
to
real
say?
nigga moment.
Yeah, but he would say, no, that's not what he said though. He said she's having an instance or something. Anyway, she started getting mad and yelling at him and accusing him of, she's like, just she said, just go be with Khadija then. And she was mad. She was basically like saying like she didn't want us to sleep together and things like, I mean, that's what the rage seemed to be focused on. And he was just, kind of like, I'm not doing anything. She snatched him out of the shower pretty much. And he was like, whoa, why are you, what is your problem? Why are you doing this? And she was like, I know you, and I know what's going on. He's like, nothing's going on. And so, and then there was one point during that whole thing, it was back and forth for several hours, where, she was holding the baby in her arms and, screaming, punching holes in the wall in the hotel, opening the door, slamming the door, punching the elevator door.
Yeah. Punched him too.
Was she punching him?
She punched him on camera with Elion in her hand.
Yeah, but that wasn't that time.
You sure? Oh, of course you sure.
No, she wasn't punching him, but at one point when she came back in the room, because I told him, I was like, yo, you need to calm her down. Like, she can't be doing this in the hotel room. And she was like, F you, bitch. Like, and she came running at me. And then he just went behind her and, just scooped her up because she's a little thing. So he just picked her right up. And I still remember like how he had her up under her rib cage, and she was just going like this and kicking and flailing her arms and legs in the air. And Oh yeah, it was quite a scene. It was quite a scene. But he picked her up, and because she was trying to rush me, she wanted to like fight me or whatever, and I was like up sitting on the bed, and he went, and he protected me from that happening. He picked her up and carried her away and was like, "What are you doing? You need to calm down. You need to get a hold of yourself. You're not acting right." Um, yeah, it was a whole ordeal that day.
I remember him talking about that incident in the hotel, specifically that she broke the hotel door.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She broke the knob off the door. He went live about it and talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to kind of kind of do a little crisscross, hear a little bit from Kaja, hear a little bit from Talib. And Talib, do you have any like affiliation or how do you know Eligio? Do you know Nature Boy?
I mean, I've talked to him before.
I have a video. I have a video up on my channel. It's real funny because it's almost like, well, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna let you tell me your experience, but I have a video of it's a good build that y'all were having.
It was I wouldn't call it a good build at the time personally.
Well, when I say good build, I mean some young men that were not like licking his boots.
Oh, of course not, because they know the real is the real, fake is the fake. I mean, there's the reason why people gravitate and have gravitated towards me here in the tropics in this quote unquote frequency is because I'm the real one. I'm actually doing these things. I'm actually out here farming, gardening, networking with people. And what I've seen, and of course is also true as admission, all Carbonation did was talk about it. One of my complaints, because I'm not sure if you're aware, but when Carbonation was in Puerto Rico, everybody in our tribe was here too. So and I would often say to the other tribe members, like, Carbonation is saying a lot about how people should be, but they're not interacting with the people that are here. They've excluded themselves. So it's hard for them to.
You're talking about the people here in Puerto Rico, the locals?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They weren't, they weren't networking with the locals like we were. They weren't doing what we was doing. So the impact that we have on the locals is a whole lot more significant. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're still here. We just hung out with Onika and Kosha yesterday. Like,
you're talking about I?
Yeah, excuse me, I gotta use those names, whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of affiliated because I know the science behind what Carbonation talks about, and I've been practicing those sciences. Even was talking about it. I learned about Eligio when he was sitting on that couch with young Pharaoh on the side of the TV, and when I first seen Eligio, I really didn't think much of him because young Pharaoh was so hot and popping at the time. That's really all we were watching, me and all my friends. And eventually, I found myself not really feeding myself certain information. So I was just searching and looking for some new stuff. And Eligio had these certain perspectives that I agreed with. And when it comes to our lives, we could relate. And I noticed, even though he was kind of talking to himself, so to speak, it was easy to connect somebody when you can relate to them. It's very easy. So it was easy for me to watch him. And originally I was gonna join him with the original crew. However, like I said, I ended up having some other engagements and I didn't end up coming. So it took me many years to finally make it to the tropics. Many years.
What when you mentioned the video you have, Medea?
Hold on one second.
Okay.
There's a lag.
Okay.
I'm lagging because I'm listening. So you were initially contemplating joining him, Talib?
100%. Because science is undeniable and unmistakable, regardless of how people feel about the person, regardless of how people feel about Eligio or Velvet or anybody. What they're talking about is 100% true. Now, their personal perspective on society in general, that's just their own subjective perspective. However, coming to the tropics, being in an environment that's most conducive to the way that you think which affects your efficiency as a human being, is undeniable. That in the tropics, you're gonna be at your best because you're the healthiest and the happiest. It's undeniable and unmistakable. So what people
Well,
do is
I'll tell you
then
that.
they try to look at his character and make him seem like he's this terrible person, and he's not. We've had a lot of personal conversations too, and he's a genuine guy. He's not a bad person, but that's the narrative.
Well, well, I'll tell you, I was born in Jamaica, so I know that the tropics are definitely good for you and health wise, and it definitely changes your perspective for sure. But as far as I guess because I don't know him personally, I don't know him. I've never spoken to him. I can only go by what I've seen online. What I've seen online has been, there's been some outrageous moments, but I don't know. I I can respect your position. Let me put it like that.
The only way to understand a person is to do the things that they do, and
So I should go to
life is
jail.
that many times when we don't understand things, we tend to have a negative perspective about them.
You didn't answer me, Talib, so I should go to jail.
Huh?
So I should go to jail.
No, I think the answer to that question is rhetorical.
It is. I like you, Talib.
Like,
Oh my gosh. So, all right. And I appreciate you guys being very open and honest. I appreciate that.
mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see. Now, I learned something during your last live, Kaja,
Yes.
with you and Lisa.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait, let me back up before we go there. I was talking about that video, the video that I have on my channel. I was really impressed with the way that you handled yourself in that video with Alihio because it seemed to me like what he was wanting was he wanted like Crown Melanin to bow down to him as the leader of not only Carbonation but the leader of Light Chrome Melanin. Am I right?
Possibly, I'm not sure what his intentions were, and I'm not gonna make him out to seem any kind of way. I don't know what his intentions were.
Okay, but well, that was my view from it, and I actually appreciated the fact that you guys were established and respectfully. It wasn't an argument. It wasn't. You guys did not raise your voices, but your voices were just your voices were heard. Put it like that. And I appreciated seeing that.
I,
Um,
I like to stay objective in my perspective in life. So I don't, as I like to say, I don't do no arguing. It's just gonna be facts. I'm not doing debating. None of that. People know exactly how.
mhm.
I'm not finna argue with you. I don't know. I don't care who it is. I'm not.
I hear you. Now, okay, so Kaja, when I'm gonna skip over that and I'm gonna say while you were affiliated with Carbonation, did you feel uncomfortable at any point?
Like while I was there, or
Yeah, while you were there at any given time, was there anything that made you feel uncomfortable?
um, well, yeah. Like when I was like my alone time with Velvet, or
Anytime.
I would say for the most part, the group as a whole made me feel very comfortable and welcome. Um,
Hmm.
there was a there was a couple of times, like the time in the hotel room, the sexual engagement I saw between Velvet and Eligio on the last night that we were together. I would say that made me feel uncomfortable. I've spoken on that before. There was also a time, like a precursor for that, which kind of all goes together now in hindsight. But there was, I had witnessed something just unusual, and that was when I was alone in the room in Nicaragua with Velvet and the baby and myself. And I saw Velvet acting strange, like just acting strangely with the baby during nap time, like fiddling around with the baby. Just I don't know how deep you want me to get into this, but in the past I've spoken about this privately to a few people, and I felt like it wasn't like really well received, so I'm kind of like hesitant to talk about it. um
Well, I mean, whatever you're comfortable with sharing is fine. It's your experience and your perspective. So whatever you feel comfortable sharing is fine. But I know that there was a conversation about her kind of, I guess, playing with her feet or playing with the baby's feet with her next close to her woo-ha.
yeah, like it could appear that she was adjusting the baby for nap time. I was on the bed. um I could see them, but Velvet was on the floor facing away from me, like on her back, and the baby was like facing her. And as she was and Velvet had no clothes on, um, which was fine, but she had no clothes on, and she was like adjusting the baby and like adjusting the blanket over them. And the baby's feet were like, at first I thought it was like she was trying to change the baby's positioning, because the baby, I could see that the baby's little baby feet were like kind of kicking on her, like her private area.
Hmm.
And as I kind of just like watched, like, oh, okay, she's moving the baby away. But no, it did appear to me from my view that she actually ended up not adjusting the baby to make it so she wasn't kicking her, but it seemed like she was making it so the baby's feet ended up their permanent resting place, which was like right on her like vaginal area while the baby was kicking the feet. And once it appeared that she had the baby in the position that she wanted the baby, which was the feet directly kicking right over the pubic area, then that's when she indeed put the blanket down over them, like, okay, now we're all settled. Like, that's how it is. And then
Hmm.
that was that. And I struggled with what, like, coming to grips with what I had seen there, whether it was what it could have been or not. I came to a point where, like, at first I was like, here's this really, like, I really, at that, up until that point, I really did have a lot of respect and uh, you know uh, inspiration for her, for, she's a young mother here, being a role model, being a leader of women and leading these women, and um being a part of this movement in this high esteemed way. So my first natural instinct was to kind of like, that's not, it couldn't possibly been what I saw. Like, I must be like a weirdo, or, I mean, I tried to do everything like to make it so it wasn't what it was. And then um after, okay, so then I had the experience in the hotel room, which, watching her, give Eligio oral sex right there with the baby, like on the bed, wide awake, making noises, talking, little baby talk. And she was just going to town. And so those two incidents, you know, built up, and I couldn't let those go. Like, I mean, I couldn't stop thinking, especially about that first thing, because it was like, that was just highly unusual. And so eventually, as everybody I think who's followed for a while saw, is that there were several like confrontations between Velvet and Eligio, where she would get angry, and at times she would punch him and stuff with the baby in the arms, and then eventually she left. And at one point, I thought she had left for good, and at that point I was like, all the feelings came back, and I was concerned, like, well, now that Eligio isn't there, to kind of oversee and make sure that everything's like, everything's like appropriate, shall we say. Um, Once she was, I told her what I had said first date, in the bedroom, with the baby. I felt as though his reaction to me was very, um, of one of acknowledgement, of sadness, of like, oh my gosh, like I this is just awful. And he cried, and he was like, oh my gosh, my baby girl, my baby girl. And yeah, that was a difficult conversation. And I had asked him if he wanted me to help him secure a custody lawyer, and wanted to, state his case as to why, he should get custody. And he was so, I think, like, saddened and beaten down from all of the accusations and things that he had gotten over the years, that his reaction was like, it's not even, he's like, nobody's gonna basically, he was giving up on trying to get custody. So that was fine. I respected that.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
so I told him, and so I let it be at that point. Like, I felt as though I had done my duty. I told him as the other parent, so now he knew he could take the appropriate steps to do whatever he thought was necessary, or to tell anybody, or to, have any action taken. So I gave that over. Um, so, um, I gave that to him. So, but there was a time way after, maybe it was a year after or something. There was
You're kind of
another
breaking
incident.
up a little bit, Kaja.
Can you
Just
hear
a
her?
touch. It was like
Can
a
you hear
little
me now?
scratchy. Yeah, now that's better.
All right. Um, so then there was another lady, um, by the name of Mama Wanda, who had watched Velvet's baby after that, and she had watched her for a couple days, whatever, and she had had some concerns as well, because of like some things she had seen. And like potential signs of, that there could have been abuse, or I'm not sure. I can't speak on that because I wasn't there. But at that point, it brought back all the memories. And so I said, what do I need to do to make, to make these feelings go away, to make baby get any potential help, or, um, um, basically any help. So I called, like, uh, like the National Child Abuse Hotline, or whatever it's called. And I did report it, and I left my name. I told them, I'm a concerned citizen. I told them, what I saw, and that I was concerned. And then so I gave that up at that point. I gave that to them. So I know that what whatever I've witnessed, whether there was something, dark and diabolical going on or not, hopefully, I did my I did what I think was um necessary at the time, which was first telling the child's father. I did that. And then once Um, once there was some more concern, I went I went the full route and I did report it to the authorities. And people maybe they're like gonna say, oh, like, why am I getting involved or whatever if I'm not sure. It's because somebody needs to step up for the voice of a child who can't who can't defend itself. So I think I did the right thing. Maybe I took too long in coming forward officially, but I did. And so, I have to be at peace with that. And to anybody who says, you know, uh, I'm I'm trying to cause trouble for, a single mom who's been through all this, who's been through a cult and stuff. Well, maybe she shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff then. Like, I mean, like, tighten up, like, I'm sorry. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing, but, I think that, I think that baby Eliana is important, and, she needed to have a, what is that?
I understand what you're saying. Now let me ask you this, Kaja. Do you believe that? Are you well? First, let me ask you this: are you aware that Velvet has CPS in her life right now?
I did hear about that. But that wasn't me. But yeah.
Why did you say that?
What?
I mean,
That
I'm
was
not.
me.
I
Well,
just
because
it's neither
no,
here nor
I'm
there. I'm
saying
just
like,
curious if you knew because what I was gonna say is I think now that she is in a different space, in a different place and time, and I know where she is. Okay, I know exactly where she is, and she's in a very safe and healthy and healing environment. Um, and she has CPS in her life now. So do you kind of think that maybe she'll be able to work on any issues that she has?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
I think so. I think she should. I know where she is, and I know she's in a good environment.
Okay, well that's good. Um, and everything should be okay. Everybody, they just need to, I just need to strive to do my best and be a good mother. And everybody can change. And I wish her and I wish the babies the best, most happiest
Oh,
life.
I know you do. I definitely know you do. Um, Talib, let me ask you a question about
Yes, ma'am.
you saying as far as the science. I'm gonna say I agree with you. Some of the sciences have been around before. Oh no,
Correct.
we were even thought of. So there is some validity to it being accurate. But how are you? What are you doing in your daily life to reflect that change? I guess you're saying that you want to see.
Well, one of the things I do is I grow food. I actually grow my own food and grow my own herbs and eat them. There was actually a certain point in time in the tribe at the house where Kaja and I not only created the soil, but we had ordered organic seeds and grew the herbs from the seeds in the soil that we had and fed everybody in the house as organically and as natural as possible. Keeping a healthy perspective is quite easy, quite simple. Emotional maturity is very simple. Quantum physics is about what environment are you going to put yourself in, basically. So like, if you're around negative people, you really don't have a chance but to be just as negative as long as you're around that type of stimulation. That's why being in a better environment is the best. Like you just said that Velvet was in a healthy environment. That's what she would need in order to get the growth and healing that she would be seeking if that would be the case. And we can keep going on further and further. Networking, I network all the time. I do a lot of. I'm not gonna necessarily say I'm a humanitarian. I used to. However, even when I attempt to help people, they wind up compensating me anyway, even when I want to do it for free. So
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is on that. Um, just, there's just no denying it. Anybody that were to do the practices that they're talking about would gain the same results. Anybody. However, Carbonation failed to show or illustrate to the public, hey, we need to be gardening. Yeah, we they showed the grounding and stuff, but the farming is a huge aspect of life. And the whole entire purpose of why humans want to acquire land is to.
Now, folklore asks if you don't believe that astrology is one of the sciences.
Astrology is wonderful, and most of the people that don't like astrology are the people that don't want to be accountable for their negative traits and negative habits. Usually, if we were to read or do a reading on a person's astrological chart, which anybody can do, um, people who don't like to be accountable, they'll look at all the positive traits and say, "Yeah, that's me, that's me." But
That's
when
what
they
I
see the
do.
negative traits, they'll be like, "No, that shit cap. It's this, it's that."
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is on
That's
that.
what I used to do when I wasn't accountable. I remember when I looked at my chart and I was only focusing on the positive traits.
Yeah, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how many people are. They want to look at themselves only in the negative light. And part of what carbonation did was allow people to see their darkness, so to speak. And I understood that. So yeah, I've just been living my life ever since. Obviously, I'm doing something that's right if I'm still here after 3 years.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. So, what let me see. Let's see here. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything.
Did you know? Well, of course you had to know. Did you know that Velvet stayed with us for a while?
No, I didn't. Well, you know what? Oh my God. Yes, she was a part of the
Yeah,
uh light crown melanin tribe. She was for wasn't it like a month and a half or two?
it was very brief, very brief, and it seemed to be very chaotic at times. But it was brief. It was brief. He was there, and I did an interview, me and you, and was it me and Armand and you at Miek and Bieques when we
Uh-huh.
did the interview with World News.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about our experiences back then because when we met the first time, I can speak for myself, but the first time I met her, I seen her the very first day. We Armand and I, he was going by my aunt at the time. Armand and I had just came back from the store or something. I don't know what we got, and we pull up at the house, and the very first thing we see is Velvet smacking Eliana. Very first thing we see, and me and him kind of look at each other like, man, out of all the first impressions of meeting her, this is what we seeing, and it kind of set the narrative and set the stage for what I was kind of gonna expect. Now, Eliana is actually a really intelligent child, very, very, very
Oh,
intelligent,
she's wonderful.
very peaceful, don't get into trouble, like she's very well behaved. Like she it was just weird. It was just weird, strange, excuse me, seeing that from jump, you know. But yeah, we she was there because she knew I and her daughter and Ezekiel. Supposedly she was with Ezekiel. I don't know the story. That ain't my place to speak on it. But yeah, she certainly came, and push come to shove, I was told that Eliana, excuse me, Velvet basically came because she wanted to give Eligio the restraining order, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, restraining order
Why would she
because
come all the way
Carbonation
here?
was in Utuado in a different part of Puerto Rico. So she came out here supposedly to do that. That's what I was told. I don't know, but that's what I was
That's
told.
what I heard
And
too.
that's why she came just to start some shit, which really bothered
Yeah,
me and
they're supposed
offended
to.
me.
Yeah.
It offended me because at the house what we're doing, we not on that. We not on that. We really is doing what we can to be in tune with nature, growing food, composting, you name it. People seen the videos,
Doing
like that's what we
community
do.
service.
Community service. We helped a
So,
lot of people.
mhm.
We volunteered for people. We did a lot, man, a whole lot. So it really bothered me that when she came, like that was, it seemed to be a part of her intention.
Hmm. Were you and Kaja present that time that Eligio pulled up?
No, I was the only one. It was probably
Oh
a house
man.
like 10, and I was the only one that wasn't there.
That's messed
On-
up.
I, I was from the beach. I was on the beach. I like to go to the beach and get naked and tan and get sun everywhere on my body.
Hmm.
So I had went to the beach, did my thing, came back, and they told me, "Oh, Theo been by here, and the wives and stuff were here, and there was a big scene because he opened the man. It was a
Peek
lot. They
through the
just basically
door.
told me the story as soon as I came back. I was like, oh, okay, missed it. Okay, I know things would have played out differently if I was there,
Oh, definitely.
and I certainly would have let him in the house with no issues and no worries. But I know that not letting him in is really what caused the big issue because he wasn't a threat. So it was what it was. Maybe it was a good thing that I wasn't there. Who knows?
I don't know. Divine intervention. Were you there? You weren't there either, huh, Kaja?
No, I was still. What was that, like maybe a month or less before I got there?
Oh wow, that's wild.
How many?
It might have been. It
And
might have
maybe
been
not.
because you
I
and Velvet
know
was there
how-
at the same time. Because when you
Oh yeah, no.
You
When
came
I
on the
got there, I
13th,
saw
Velvet was still
Velvet,
there.
but she never talked to me.
because when Kaj got here, she was worried that Velvet was going to attack
I
her or
thought she
something.
was like, yeah,
And
here,
Velvet didn't even
gonna jump me or
she
something.
didn't even do nothing, man. She wasn't worried about Kaj. She was focused on Dylan and whatever else was going
all
on.
the other dudes that she was with while she was here.
No comment on that.
I know that she was supposed to be initially with Grand Empress I's son, Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what she initially said, but then she ended up with Dylan.
So imagine that. Imagine
Within
the-
one day. Within one day.
Oh my goodness, it was so much drama. Quick. Like, man, here's Dylan. And because Dylan was Ezekiel's friend. I didn't even know Dylan. Ezekiel knew Dylan. And him and Ezekiel and Velvet were going through whatever they were going through. And then she wound up somehow with Dylan. Maybe because they're both Aquariuses. I don't know. Maybe they related to each other a certain way. I don't know. But that's what happened. And eventually, Moshawn, there was a meeting in the backyard, and Moshawn and some of the other girls basically had this meeting, and they were like, they felt like all of the issues and problems that were going on in the house was because of Velvet. So she needed to leave, and Velvet was just like, okay. She didn't argue, she didn't fight. She said okay, so she left.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, it was kind of chaotic over there. Like many of us would be sitting in the backyard, just relaxing, calm, and we just hear yelling and screaming and stuff in the house. There was a lot going on. Some of us chose not to get involved with it.
Tell me about some of the good times of Light Crown Melanin.
All of it.
Ah.
All of it, man. I don't live a life that's saturated in negativity and negative experiences. I've traveled so many places, especially me and Kaz. We traveled many different places on the island, met many different people. Most of it we had pictures and videos, but it's just been a really heavenly experience. I've learned a lot. Man, it's just so much to. That's a heavy one right there. That's a heavy one.
Like, even I know that, like, even I can tell that I've changed so much since being here, because, like, even reflecting back earlier what I was saying, I was feeling like in that moment when I was talking about all those things I saw happen with, the Velvet interactions, I was like recoiling as I'm like, oh my God, like it felt so icky to be talking about it, and I'm sure it came out like that I was uncomfortable, and I was. So I think I'll be glad now that that's gonna be the last time I ever talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm so thankful that that you let me speak freely and uncensored. And I'm just very grateful for that. And now I finally can, like, release that from my mind. So I appreciate that. And I'm so happy to have been here. And yes, I love focusing on positive things, doing healthy things, and growing our own food, and eating plant based for the most part. You've just been such a good influence on me. I'm so thankful to you, Talib.
Grateful. Grateful you chose to join me on the journey. In my experience here, Kaj has really been the one that's put forth the most effort when it comes to doing everything here in the tropics. Like nobody's done what she's done. So that's why we're still here together, because she's put forth the most amount of effort. So that's why I appreciate her so much. So that's why we're here. Of course, I still love everybody else, but there's no denying facts. Ain't no denying.
Well, I definitely appreciate you guys coming up as well. And guys, the link is in the chat. If you guys want to come up and ask any specific questions, the link is there. I'll give you guys like a few minutes to think about if you want to come up. But please be respectful, guys. I'm gonna drop anybody that's like really like out far out there.
You can keep them on. They're gonna get humbled.
Oh,
They go. I welcome the challenge. They gonna get humbled.
I don't like the. I don't. We're having a good time, a good vibe here.
Good time humbling them too. Go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing. A lot of practice. Do your thing. Emotional maturity is my strong point.
Mhm. But let me see. Nobody's hitting the link.
Everyone's scared now.
Got everybody shook.
Negative. It'll be fine.
It should be positive. We can keep it positive. Even if it is negative, we can alchemize the energy. That's what we do. That's what I do specifically. I kind of show people the patterns about life. I learned many years ago that all of life is just patterns happening over and over and over, macro and micro. I'm sure you're probably familiar with the concept of macrocosms and microcosms. Like what a person does on a small scale is also happening on a big scale, and so on and so forth. So I kind of introduce people to paying attention to their habits. Some people like to hold other people accountable, and I completely disagree with that, because in order to be accountable, one must hold oneself accountable first. And many times we look at other people and we see them in the way that we see ourselves. So we're really not looking at the individual. We're just seeing ourselves and the things that we haven't been accountable for.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but nobody's trying to join. Let me see if there's any questions in the comments, because I think this was really great. How can we keep up with them? Are they on YouTube? Hey, yeah, good question.
I mean,
Maybe.
many times I just be busy doing stuff. Part of being in Puerto Rico is restoring the houses because of Hurricane Maria, which really devastated Puerto Rico. And I met many friends who work with FEMA. I got friends that work with FEMA and stuff. So I actually go around renovating these houses. That's something I do. So sometimes we'll post the videos on YouTube. Sometimes we won't. But lately, I just been busy, man. I ain't been worried about the camera.
If anybody wants to, although I mean it's not really like the Light Crown Mountain page, but if anybody wants to watch, I did do some like videos of my arrival here and other places also, like Jamaica. I went. There were some other ones, but when I came here, there's a video I did called "Journey to the Tropics," and in it is myself, Talib. There's a recreation of that infamous when Eligio came to our house there with Velvet inside with the baby, and as everybody probably saw, he peeked through the window and was like, "I just want to see my daughter," right? So I have that all like recreated at the house. We have some, um, um, other people in it. Dylan's in it. Um, yeah, everybody
Me,
was at the
Armand.
Armand. So if anybody wants to see that, they can see it on the channel Kaja K Media on YouTube, and it's called Journey to the Tropics. And yeah, you can kind of see the whole story of what's happened here and stuff.
I'm trying to pull up my YouTube name.
Oh yeah, what is your YouTube
Yeah, you
name?
can drop the link in the chat.
You know, do that.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
How do you drop the link?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do it for you, because all you got to do is go to your YouTube page, search Kaja. Let's see.
How I am here,
Media.
I don't see any chat. I just see the like my camera on or
I'll
off
drop it
and
in
my
there.
mic. Okay.
And y'all can still tell who's on the frequency because they have source on the front of their name on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Mine is source code Lotus.
Mine is Source Kaja the Christ.
With a K.
With a K.
With a K.
Yeah. And if anybody is interested in talking to us about coming to the source, then they can.
Or anything.
Or anything.
I'm an open book. My YouTube is... Ain't been on there a while. I show everything on my YouTube.
I'm going to have to put it in the description of the video, guys. I'm sorry. I have another question from, I think it was Folklore. They said, do you guys practice polygamy?
Do we practice polygamy? I think that in the past
question mark.
I think that we discuss it from time to time. We've had our we've definitely discussed it.
Okay. And then LP said, wait a minute. Why did Liz and Kite leave? I don't know. Do you guys know why they left? I mean,
Nation of Islam. They mastered their time here, and as great students who graduate, they went on to continue on in life, and I'm really proud of them. And as I've mentioned briefly recently, I don't know if anybody caught it, but I was on deck to deliver Liz's baby, or what is she, Elanahi now? I think she goes by still. And I was in there I was on the phone with the doula and checking the cervix, and we had to
fill the pool up with
fill
water,
the birthing pool, and she was gonna have a home birth. And she ended up, she was having some pain. And so she had to go, right at the very, they practically just had to catch the baby coming out, from what I hear, because she went in and that's it. She had the baby. Yeah, but they said that there was she had gotten a little of the fluid in her lungs, so they had to suction her. So they're saying that was actually really good, that she just happened to want to go to the hospital. So I'm happy about that. And she has a wonderful, her and Kite have another baby on the way, as far as I have heard.
Yeah, they do. They have their second baby coming. They're engaged to be married too.
Though they are married.
Oh, they're married now? Okay.
I know. Oh my gosh, super proud of them.
Wow.
Super great students, huh?
I mean, they was already pretty mature.
Yeah,
even when we would go back, even when I would go back there, I told them, when it comes to their relationship and their conversations, they're very mature at how they handle themselves.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I kind of expected them to be quite successful.
Both Libras, both have the same birthday. Am I right?
Same birthday.
Same birthday.
Beautiful. This question is kind of funny, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, Kaja. But Kaja, what is your attraction to these polygamous men?
Oh, you know what? That's a great question.
That's from Libby Lou.
Oh, Libby Lou. That's a great question. What is my attraction The polygamous
Can I
man.
help answer that
Oh,
one?
can you please?
Kaja likes to be included on things.
Oh, I like
She don't like to be left out. So if she's attracted, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that if Kaja's attracted to a man and he has a girlfriend, she just want to be included.
Yeah, yeah, I can
That
say
makes
that. Yeah, that
sense.
would be.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I hope that answered your question, Libby Lou. Any other questions? Anybody bold enough to come up on the panel? Now, I don't want
Come on
y'all
up.
running around on these YouTube streets talking about all of this stuff and not coming up here. If there's any other content creators in here that have any questions, you have the source literally right here.
I'm
Oh,
grateful.
oh, I'm grateful.
No, nobody's hit the link, guys.
We
Oh
clipping that.
yeah,
We
we
clipping
clipping
that.
that.
Absolutely.
I think this was great. I really enjoyed having you guys here. Look forward to what's to come for you guys in Puerto Rico. And
Yeah.
that's all I really have, unless you guys wanted to add anything else.
Um, I can say that with me personally, I'm kind of the one person who's the glue to all of this, to all these people that have come here. Okay.
You're the
When I first
foundation.
when I came here with a backpack and a suitcase and nothing else, nothing. I think maybe like $50, and I came here off of pure faith. I was a person who lived a very fact-based, logical life. I kind of wanted to see what life could bring to me, and I seen it. And when I first came here, I came here alone at first, and then the second time I came here, I was with and Ezekiel and his sister. So we ended up coming together as a group because we was in the tropics. Well, we were in a different city in Puerto Rico named Humacao, and we really didn't have pretty much anywhere to go. We didn't have too much money, and the landlord at the time really looked out for us. And there's plenty of videos of him too, but he ended up looking out for us. Well, as we got to the house, the house over here in Fajardo, um, people started coming when they started seeing us as a group. They just seen these darker skinned people. We out here doing what we can, trying to get more in tune with nature, networking, different lifestyle. No United States, no Georgia government, none of that stuff. None of that stuff. So we came here, started this, and I'm the one that's been here throughout all of this to see all of this stuff play out. I'm just not too concerned with trying to gain attention, and I'm not an attention whore. It's not important to me. So if people want to meet me or want to have some kind of experience, what I did was I ended up fixing up the house over there because when we first came to the house, it had Hurricane Maria damage. So there was a lot of so there was a lot of problems with the house, and of course it was making people uncomfortable. So I ended up taking it upon myself to work with the landlord to fix the house up. Now he making a lot of money now, but my whole goal when people were there was I wanted everybody to sleep in tents. So I would go outside, cut up all of the stumps, move all of the rocks, make tent spaces, get grass, leaves, you name it, and most of us slept outside most of the time. And I've been living this life as a minimalist for a long time. And as I learned to be a minimalist, coming from the material realm, so to speak, I learned that it's hard to be more in tune with my feelings when I'm so focused on acquiring material possessions. I'm so focused on trying to please myself or trying to be a hedonist, which many people are, that I couldn't focus on the things that really mattered in life. And I began when people started coming and we would start making more lives and doing Instagram interviews and stuff. I just started telling people what I knew from my personal experience. I'm just not one of them people that like carbonation and trying to do anything extreme to get attention, because all that does is beget
Oh
notoriety.
my goodness, you just
And
you just
notoriety,
answered one of the questions because somebody in the chat, they said, what sets you apart from carbonation? And I think you just
I'm
answered
real.
one of their questions,
I'm
even without seeing it.
I'm
Wow.
real. I'm authentic. If I'm very serious about my life, my peace of mind, what I do, the being efficient, being the greatest version of myself, helping people as much as possible. Um, that's just how I am. It's been my personality from since I was little. I've always been this way. But I'm very real, very authentic. I will tell people how it is, tell people like it is, whether I got to give it to them in a soft way or a hard way. I'm gonna do it every time.
Well, I think that's the only way to be honest.
To be honest, you just said it, pun
Yeah.
intended. That I'm witty, man. People, my intelligence in general is admirable, and I like to basically bounce that energy off of people and bring out the best in everybody that I meet. And I think that's what creates the most fluid relationships is when two people can bring the best out of each other without arguing. Yeah, you can compete, but you still want to have some kind of friendly competition and bring out the best in your partners and your friends and your family, your relatives, your children, whatever. I just think that's the most objective, uh, how would I say, efficient way of living life.
Right.
And people don't, some of the people here don't really speak the way that I do or articulate themselves the way that I do.
Mm.
And I'm not just pulling, if there's information that I know, I'm always going to cite my source from where I got my information from.
Oh, that's important.
For example, the first time I heard that everything was God was from a breatharian by the name of Wiley Brooks. WILEYBROOKS. He's a breatharian, and he said, I'm God, you're God, and everything is God. There's no separation. You can't separate yourself from a creator. Just like you are your child, you are the child of your father and your mother, you're still your father and your mother. You're still gonna be carrying on them same traits. If you're a woman and you have a mother, which every woman does, you're gonna be carrying on those same mitochondrial traits all the time. That's your pattern. So it's up to you it's up to women to study their mothers to understand themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to men to study their fathers to understand themselves.
Mm.
There's a lot to life, and being in the tropics, especially going up into the mountains, the energy is different. The circumstances that happen is just different. There's no matching it. Being coming from the technological world, in comparison to the natural world, it's a huge difference. The stress level is different.
Mm-hmm.
How you handle yourself is different. How you respond to energy is different. It's way better. It's way healthier. You notice when we sick and when we tired, that's when we the most rude. That's when we going through something, that's when we got the worst attitude. You got to be in a good environment to deliver your message to the rest of the world the best way.
And LP asked, and I guess everybody just feels more comfortable maybe asking questions from the comments. That's totally fine, y'all. I'm checking the comments. But LP asked, uh, who all is left from your tribe? And when you answered that, like, first of all, I see a lot of the source people out here. So, like I be trolling y'all. Y'all know I be trolling. So I see a lot, I see a lot of the source folks. So how many people are left in y'all tribe?
At one point, didn't you tell when Elijah was saying he wanted us to give our, our praise to him? Didn't you invite him to put source in front
I
of his
did.
name?
I sure did.
And what did he do?
Did he block me?
He blocked the fuck out of him.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. You probably
Uh,
really made him mad.
Oh yeah, he
I
was.
mean,
Yeah, he was.
it is what
It's an
if
interesting
if a man
relationship between you guys.
if a man comes at me with pride, he will be humbled. I guarantee it, and I put my life on it. That's how confident I am. He will be humbled. That's my personality. I've always been this way. Now, with that being stated, we are the tribe, so to speak. It started out me and her when I changed it from crown melanin to light crown melanin. It started out just me and Kaj and Armand.
And Dea.
Oh yeah, and they ain't got us. And they ain't got
And
us.
Dea
I
and
apologize.
Goddess, yeah.
So that's how with crown melanin, but without the light part, I just wanted to add another word on there because light crown melanin, I visualized myself with a halo being an angel, so I said light crown melanin.
And then Yahya came.
Then Yahya came.
And then,
Let me ask you,
I
wait
think
a
Miz.
minute. You said Armand. Are you talking about Pice?
Who?
Pice.
Pice. No.
No, he used to
Another
go
guy.
by Ma'at.
My
Oh,
yeah,
my God. I know who you're talking about. Okay. Okay.
And then baby got, and
Mhm.
she was here too as since a little tiny baby.
Yeah, we came up with crown melanin. It was me, Ezekiel, Liz, Mike, Christian. Who else? Basically, it was us. It was like us
There
six.
was some
Wasn't
other
Chief
people
Why
too.
Not there at one point?
Yeah, why not? Ami, Mashawn. We was deep out here.
Adam.
Oh
We were
yeah,
deep.
yeah. It
There's
was
a lot of
deep.
us, man. We went through all our situations. We would go
Velvet.
through Velvet. We would go through arguments, that like horrible arguments that would end so beautifully. And I'd be like, man, we should be recording this stuff, man. We should record how we came to these solutions and these healthy outcomes, so people understand problem resolution.
Yeah.
When there's a disagreement, we just
Not just an RNM. It was
yeah, it wasn't just no
like a
RNM,
healthy, healthy outcome. And it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
huh?
people. I think that's what attracted people to us. Like what people don't see online is how we all engage with each other personally and privately. Excuse me. So it's a lot of beautiful people out here. some don't want to. How do I want to word it, man? We all get along quite well. Of course, we always gonna have, or sometimes we gonna have our times where we don't, but we just get along well. When it comes to who the tribe, it's really just us. We the core, and then whoever wants to come and join is just gonna amplify the energy. So at some point, we ended up having Almighty King Allah, Adam. He was going by Caesar at the time. We had Oracle Gemini, CJ. We had Yahya. We had
Ezekiel came back.
Yeah, Ezekiel came back. Who else? We had Imani came. Imani's still here. She's doing her thing.
Doing her thing.
Atum was here.
Atum.
Atum is in Colombia.
No,
right now.
no.
Where is
He's in. It might be Colombia.
Yeah, I think he's in Colombia, in South America.
I thought Atum is in Minnesota.
Oh
Minnesota.
no.
That sounds like Armand, Adam.
Oh yeah, Adam.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He is. Sorry.
And Ray.
Sunray.
Mm-hmm.
She was here.
Ray was with Adam. We had a lot of experiences, man.
This is just all in the last 2 years.
Well, 3 for me. Mm-hmm. About to be 3 for me.
It's 2.5 for me.
Yeah, you've been doing your thing. Staying consistent.
Now, when you reference Kite and his wife, they did a live here recently.
Hey, Kite is dope. Kite
is so awesome.
I got extra respect for Kite. That man dope, man. I really love that man. I love his personality. I love how authentic he is. And I have everything good to say about Kite.
Everything
great person.
Well, one thing really struck me about the live was Kite introduced himself and he said, yeah, I was a part of Carbonation. And then Elanaki introduced herself and she said, and I wasn't in Carbonation, but I was in a spinoff. Light Brown Melanin. And I'm like, a spinoff? What does that mean?
That's how she felt. That's her subjective, personal perspective of her experience. What it is. I think that being in tune with nature doesn't belong to any group.
Oh yeah, that does not. No, it does not.
I'm just saying we're just a group of darker skinned people who decided to do it. It doesn't really matter, by the way, if they were darker skinned or not. But we just decided to come together and do melanin. That. Well, yeah, everything is melanin. Yeah. Anything with life is melanin. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, that's what we did, man. We've been here ever since. Taking people all kind. Man, we used to go to the river a lot, go to the beach a lot. I've seen some things that I just explained the other day. we went to this place called Las Marias in Puerto Rico, and in the rainforest over there. And for those that don't know, Puerto Rico is like what 60-70% rainforest. It's green everywhere. Mountains green everywhere. But we went to this one place to where we walked. It's night. We had to wait till nighttime So we're walking and we had to use our phones to light up the path because it's pitch black dark in the rainforest, pitch black. So we walking, and we wound up going to this bamboo grove. And the bamboo is just giant. In the rainforest here in Puerto Rico, everything is huge.
It was 10. It was late at night.
Yeah, it was really late.
It had to be really late.
So the person that we was with is a guy named Jordan. I think Jordan Martinez. I don't want to get his name wrong. It's called Finca. I don't want to say it in Spanish. It is what it is. I think it's Agro Bojiti or something like that.
Yep.
But at Jordan, so he has this farm, and him and his family have this farm. But anyway, so we end up walking through the woods. We get to this one place with bamboo, where the bamboo grove is, and he tells us to just wait. And we're like, man, why are we just sitting here for nothing? Like, what are we doing? He said, man, just wait, man. Just be patient. So as we're sitting in the rainforest at the time, give me a second, y'all. As we sitting in the rainforest, we just wait for time to pass by, and all of a sudden the ground start glowing. The ground is glowing, right? So I'm like, man, what is this? We're in a movie, and then while the ground's glowing, there's these like firefly type things.
But they're different.
Flying around,
they're not
man.
like any other firefly that I'd ever seen in my life.
It literally seemed like something out of a movie.
They were almost like dragonfly fireflies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, it's so many beautiful things. Even like walking on the beach at nighttime over here. When you're walking on the beach, there's these algae that are like phosphorescent specks. Like so as you're walking the beach, it's just glowing like Michael Jackson on Billie Jean. The ground just glowing. It's amazing, man. It's so much. It's so many beautiful things to see and experience. Man, I'm glad I love the States.
Oh,
so many beautiful things to come over here and experience, man. And we taking the group. There's somebody else that came here too. Now that I think of it, I got to digress. I'm a Gemini, so I'll be all over the place. But
these are all the things that you guys need to be catching on camera.
Huh?
These are all of the things that you guys need to be catching on camera.
Well, some of those things that I explained cannot be caught on camera unless you have a special lens.
Yep.
For example, like the bioluminescent bay, you can't use a regular camera to see it. It'll just look normal. You actually have to have a certain type of lens.
And I tried to take a picture of the glowing leaves and the stuff, and nothing came out.
No, I think we did some of that stuff on camera. I don't remember.
No,
it's been so much stuff.
But I didn't. At least not on mine. There was nothing there.
Man, it's been so much stuff that's been recorded and deleted, and it's just been a lot. I'd rather have personal experiences with people than to be talking on the phone, and that's another reason why I don't capture so much on the camera. When I first got here, the tribe used to be upset at me because every time I would go out on an adventure,
you wouldn't bring a phone.
I would never bring my phone, ever, because I understand what the phone does to us psychologically and energetically. So I don't bring it all the time.
Okay.
But many of us are so connected to that thing, we feel like it's a part of us. We used to say it's like people's cyborgs.
My phone is my husband.
See, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. We do so much on it, man. The phone is an extension of the mind.
LP Lurker said that Puerto Rico is a very magical place. They grew up there.
Oh, hey.
And she said the bioluminescent in Puerto Rico is breathtaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we live. We live like 5 minutes
very
away.
close.
Wow.
Very close.
Then LP Lurking said I was in Luquillo.
Luquillo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Luquillo, beautiful too.
That's my favorite.
We go there a lot.
One of my favorites.
We go there a lot. We made plenty of videos on Luquillo.
Oh,
we do record all this stuff.
We
made plenty of videos of Luquillo.
Check out my page.
Okay, we'll definitely check it out, and I'll be sure it'll be in the description of this video, guys.
There's we have an Instagram page. And this is separate than our personal stuff, but it's Light Crowned Melanin on Instagram, and go check it out. We have Luquillo, we have the rainforest, we have lots of adventures. Places
we forgot we went to.
The wild horses come and eat mangoes off our trees. Oh my gosh, it's so magical.
Seeing the Saiba trees.
Oh yeah, they have these big ancient trees. They're like from that movie. They're from the movie. You know, with the blue people.
Blue people.
Yeah, it's like, what's it called? You know, the blue. It's like a cartoon. Like they're the blue people, and
The
then the
Smurfs?
magical tree. No,
Do you say blue people? I'm thinking
it's like
Smurfs.
an AI. Come on, what is? The
I don't
people
know.
have the long like hair and the
I don't
blue
know.
face.
But yeah, we there was one point where we tried to go to the caves here during COVID, and they told us we needed to wear a mask in the big giant wide open cave, and of course we turned around immediately. So I thought that was ridiculous.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we needed no, we didn't need a mask. We needed to show proof of
Yeah,
our shots.
proof of COVID shot.
Wow.
It's unique
To
being.
go in a cave.
It's unique seeing the things that happen in the United States, and then seeing how people try to bring that energy over to the islands, and people on the islands are just like, man, that stuff ain't even real. I done met so many people here in Puerto Rico that say time ain't real, this is heaven, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like Puerto Ricans don't even think. Puerto Ricans are very peaceful people. Plus, they're a mixture of European, African, and Taino. So they unbiased. There's certain energies. I would tell people there's certain energies that you won't even feel here that you would feel in other places. Like you don't feel prejudice and racism and all of that stuff. The police ain't the same. The government ain't the same. None of this stuff is the same. It's
and
more
they're all
local
beautiful.
restaurant.
The women,
everybody
like beautiful, the most beautiful bodies in the world.
Tomboy.
Like, oh my goodness, and the guys. Oh my
I know
lord,
that
guys.
9, aka Mama Treasure, Mama 9, aka Treasure, and Mama Knowledge, aka Wizzy, aka Jennifer, are enjoying Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're I think in the San Juan area. And they came by briefly. They drove
Y'all met
past
right
the
there,
house.
Y'all
Yeah,
met right
yeah.
there.
I was leaving. I was going to the store on the bicycle, and I hear, "Hey, Kaja," and I look over, and it's Nine and Wizzy, and they're like, "Hey, we got it." They were taking Kite and Liz at the time on an errand. So yeah, so we're gonna get together sometime soon, hopefully.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. I know they're doing really well, and they have their little dog. They're doing really well in Puerto Rico.
Even True said on video one day when Eligio asked him, we talked about this.
Right.
He said, if you can go anywhere that you've already been or something like that, where would you go? And he said,
if you could have any one wish, what would it be?
And he said to be back in that house in Puerto Rico.
You know what? I'll tell y'all something really crazy about that. That now that y'all, he did say that. He did say that in that wishing video. However, recently, I don't know if you guys know, but True, Aaron, aka True, has been exploring Vigo, and somebody said, "What was the nicest place you've ever been to?" And he said it was Puerto Rico.
For real?
Yeah, he said it was Puerto Rico because of the space that they had in that house in Puerto Rico. He said that was his favorite place.
Yeah, and the site.
Yeah, he came by the house.
The scenery, man.
He came by the house too. They were all there in the van that one day when Eligio came over to see the baby.
I thought it was just Eligio.
Oh no, it was a lot of them. To leave, you missed the drama.
The wives that
I don't entertain drama, so life just put me in that situation.
That's why the universe didn't put you there.
Correct.
He's not very accessible too. So this is like a rare, even like when I asked him to, I was like, hey, will you come on the video or the live with me? And he was like, and I kind of like looked at me like, I was like, come on, but he's really inaccessible. Like how you've said, people that have wanted to like interact with you or whatever in the past, like you give them the invite to come, and then after a while, if they don't, you won't even text them or nothing.
That's right.
Anymore.
I'm not finna keep reaching my energy out. You're not finna keep taking. Yep. I love my energy. I love myself. I'm protecting my energy. I'm keeping it safe. I'm using it when I need to use it, not just all the time. Like, I don't just give my energy out to any and everybody.
Well, I
Mm-mm.
appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you for, being here and sharing parts of your journey, which you guys are not obligated to do so. You could keep your private life private. And for the most part, I think, Kaja, since you've kind of, over time, since you've been in Puerto Rico, that's what you guys have been doing, just really living and enjoying and experiencing a really great life.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
For the most part, yeah. Life got ups and downs. But yeah, for the most part, absolutely. I say about
Look, there's potholes on every road, okay?
about okay.
But
Go for it.
I'm just happy, it's really cool to catch up with you guys, and I appreciate you coming, because um I know that your time is very valuable. My time is valuable to me, so I respect others' time.
Yeah.
And I want to also say I wanted to thank you for being. I just want to say, like, you really, when I came across you, however, I don't know, a year ago or whenever, and I had seen the kind of content and the coverage that you were putting out, and I was like, I really admired you. You were different than all the other content creators, I felt, seeing people that have covered, the whole carbonation group and everything. And I found you to be like really like respectable, respectful, not trying to like offend anybody, being neutral, especially the neutral. And I've never, in my, talking with you, I've never heard you to like talk badly about anybody. And I just really admire you. And I just wanted to thank you for being a healthy, positive person in our community.
Yeah, and I mean, I try to be as much as possible because I don't feel that it's, necessary for me to get my point across by disrespecting or trashing anyone or dragging anyone. I think I even said it the other night in a live that I'm not that person that's going to be dragging a current carbonation member or ex carbonation member, but I will let you know when you messing up in life. Like, for instance, Jax, he's on the internet preaching and teaching.
Right?
Hmm?
Didn't
But he
tell.
just got out of jail. He just got out of jail for trying to for his last charge was criminal trespass, but the charges before that was he was trying to smuggle marijuana into the jail. That's a felony
That's stupid.
as hell. And Juju done got him four. Juju got four felonies.
What?
Yes, Juju is in DeKalb County Jail right now. He has been in there since I think it's let me see. I think it's August 25th.
Now let me ask you a question. Do you think, or maybe like, okay, I'm just gonna say I'm assuming that Juju and Jax or who's ever trying to go in there, they're hoping that they might be reunited or be housed in there with Eligio's pod. And I'm not sure how it all works or what kind of, I'm sure that it's a high profile enough case that they probably realize that, hey, these guys are with Eligio. Do you think that that's going to make them like not house them together, like just out of like to keep his followers out of away from him, or do you think no, they just put him where?
Let me correct myself. Juju has been in jail since September 23rd, 2023, and he is still in there as of today. He was taken in for criminal trespassing, lying to an officer about his name, trying to cross the guard lines with drugs, and also, what was the other felony? Crossing the guard line with drugs. Oh, possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. So it was a good amount in his orifices. So as far as them being,
Well, and
huh?
bags too, and he had multiple bags of them. If he had intent to distribute, you have to have multiple bags in order to even get that charge. So he was packed with multiple
Yeah,
bags.
Oh
he
my
had them in his orifices, I'm sure. And my thing is I don't know. I don't know if if DeKalb County, there, a lot of the jails across America have overcrowding because unfortunately, there is so many of our youth who are running and doing stupid sugar honey iced tea. Take the first letters, guys, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's so many youth out here doing a whole bunch of sugar honey iced tea in the world, going in and out. So much so, my hometown, they built a juvenile jail. The first juvenile jail
Yeah.
is built in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Yep. They built a juvenile jail because they have to have a juvenile jail now to lock the juveniles up.
Oh my God.
So
I'm from.
I say that to say I don't think they can separate them unless Eligio Bishop, aka Nature Boy, aka Three God, is in the hole. If he's in the hole, yeah, they'll be separated. But if they're in general population, no. And I could say that only because both of my daughters work in corrections.
Okay, so you don't think that like there's not some like for example how the wives are or he's cut off from communicating with any of his group or his wives, right?
Yeah,
And
but
I'm wondering,
they're considered co-conspirators. That's why they're cut off.
okay, but do you think that there's some stipulation in maybe the court documents that like Juju and Jax are co-conspirators or
Probably
no?
not yet.
Okay.
Probably not yet because they have been going back and forth since June. And the
So
marijuana has not it wasn't caught until August.
oh,
So they have probably been criminally trespassing themselves on purpose to go into the jail to bring that weed up in there. I mean,
oh,
why else would you
well,
have weed hidden in your orifices? And also, like, normally if a cop stops you, they're like, "You got any weed on you?" You like, "Yeah" or "No" or whatever. If you say
you like
if,
find
if
it.
it's in your pocket, you know they're gonna find it.
Uh-huh, yep.
We
Yep.
watch 60 Days In. You know they gonna
Yeah,
search a whole lot
60
better now.
days in. That's right. And they did one from a Georgia
'Cause Georgia,
jail. That
Georgia,
was the one of the roughest ones. What
Georgia
was
does
which
not
county?
have Georgia does not have a justice system. Where I'm from is a place called Trick County,
Georgia?
and from oh, absolutely, Georgia terrible. Georgia terrible when it comes to the legal system.
Well,
Terrible.
I can imagine because we have all been patiently waiting. I'm going to the trial, and Kaja's supposed
I
to be going too.
that's
We're
right.
supposed to be going, so we've been patiently waiting for this trial to begin.
But it might not be till next year, huh? That's what I'm hearing everybody
Yeah, I think
say
it's
or
going to be
speculate.
2025 because the judge, Susie Heydrich, she had Eligio, aka Nature Boy, aka Three God. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't say his name without doing that. His he submitted a motion July 31st, then on August 2nd, I think, and then on September 5th. And none of those motions were responded to until recently. They put a court date in for November 3rd. So just think it's been July, August, September, October, November. So 5 months for her to respond to even just get in front of her.
You
That's
know
deep.
something? What want to hear something deep? But about a month before Eligio went to, I made a video that I sent to him. Person, well, actually, I think I posted on my Instagram,
Oh, the
and
square?
I was standing in the mirror, and I said, "Look, bro, if you think you always right, you got right, right." A month later, he wound up in a box.
It's probably
And so,
Wow. You broke up a little bit at the end when you said you're gonna find yourself in a box, and then what else?
Hold on a second. Hear me yet? Can you hear me?
I can hear you much better now.
Okay, I told him I in a box in a month in a box in jail.
Wow.
Sometimes in life you need to go left. You can go a different direction. Always right. That's deep.
I'm sorry, her name is Stacy. She said Stacy. Is it Stacy Hydrick? I thought it was Susan. No, but I mean, that's crazy. How did you how did you even come up with that concept for that video before he found himself in a box?
Okay, I'm grateful and thankful for the question. When we engage our energies with different people, different energies just come out. That day, I just so happened to get up at about 3 a.m. He had called me, or no, I called him that night. I was talking about something. I forgot what it was, and I'm real big on unless a person's like much older than me, that person isn't going to be able to give me too much wisdom. So, anywho, that ride, and I just did it, and I made sure to tag him. Hey man, you think you always right? That's the issue. That make a person a square. If you always right, you got to go left at some point in time. That's the only way you're gonna learn. You gotta fail sometimes so you can go forward. But the people that always think who's self righteous, they all. So that was the basis of the. Yeah.
Mm, that's
Before
really
that,
that's. Hmm.
hadn't he done is your shadow? He's the dark shadow in the movie.
Forgot how he worded.
They like to have these.
It's a meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
That's what he said he wanted. He said he wanted a meeting of the.
Yes.
I wanted to play him. He kept ducking. But he kept ducking me.
I don't know why y'all keep going in and out like that. Y'all keep going in and out.
Probably the service right now. I apologize.
Okay, it's a lot better. Whatever you just did, however you moved it, you're good. Can y'all hear me?
But yeah, I said I love Kite pretty. Yeah.
Might be blocking the microphone.
Am I blocking the microphone? Oh,
Okay.
Can you hear me, Medea?
I can hear you.
Can you? Okay. So
Yeah, I can hear you.
Kite is actually the person. We were, me and Kite had Eligio on, brought the phone in the room, and that's how we ended up talking. Kite, what was the Light Crown Melanin page?
I think it's on my page.
It's on your page, yeah, because it was a personal
Okay.
conversation, and that's how we started talking. Oh, excuse me.
And he said he'd been wanting to talk to you for a while.
Yeah, he said he wanted to get to know me, talk to me for a while, all this other stuff, and it probably intrigued him the way I was living my life and what I was saying, because it probably reminded him of himself and the things that he was saying but wasn't doing. So he wanted to have a meeting of the minds, and that's what we did. And then I gave him that square concept about being self-righteous.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you think he received
I kind of pride
that?
myself on. He in jail now. He probably didn't receive it until afterwards, if he even has.
Well, he called me one time and he was asking about.
Oh yeah,
you.
he do ask
he
Kaj.
was. Yeah, he was asking me like, what? Yeah, he was asking me about him.
but I've never said anything negative about him, and
No,
I
you
don't
sure
not
have not.
not in private or in public, because
Right.
that's not. I don't see him as this negative person, so to speak. Like, yeah, they was doing what they're doing. However, Elijah made it very clear that he was going to do things that were negative to get to basically pull people into the knowledge. So it's not about what he's necessarily doing. He's only doing that for attention, because the attention he gets is going to lead people to what he was teaching years ago,
Now I'm gonna
so to
ask you
speak.
a
That's
question
why.
though. I gotta ask you the tough question because I gotta ask. What about all of the people who have left, such as Aaron, aka True, and Kendra, aka Sheba, even Velvet, aka Nana G? What about those people and Chieftess? What about those people who have left and said that there was violence, there was abuse, there was, behind the scenes, and some of the stuff we saw on camera? Like, was that
Mhm.
I got a perfect
okay?
response. Did any of them
Good.
tell the public what they did that was violent? Or did they point the finger at everybody else and say, this other person was violent and this person didn't? But they never show any accountability. I have a personal problem with people
Yes.
who complain
No, no,
about
no.
what
Yes.
happens to them and what they see, but they don't say what they did to cause a person to respond the way that they responded. That's
I
what I
will
look
tell
for in
you,
conversation.
Kendra and Aaron took full accountability. And it's crazy because she was on Lisa Says What's panel, and they had a very interesting conversation in which Kendra took full accountability for the times that she was violent and for the times that she acted out while in that situation. And Aaron did as well. He took accountability for putting hands on Sheba while they were in the cult. Now, Velvet, I don't recall her taking accountability like that. It was on video with her.
No.
We saw her punching
I mean,
Eligio on video, but
What was that?
I just said Velvet's life kind of speaks for itself. But you got three baby daddies. None of them don't want none of them in the light. That it is what it is on that, man. And life speaks for itself. I don't want to speak on it too much. But either way, if Velvet was saying all of that stuff when she was at the house with us, Nature Boy beat me, Nature Boy did this, Nature Boy did that, but she didn't say anything about what she did to him. Nothing, not a drop. Not a drop.
I get it. But I'm asking, was any of that okay?
I don't know if it was even true or not. So I can't say whether it's okay or not okay. I'm not gonna approve or condone violence of any sorts. I can understand if a person is
Okay,
defending,
good.
but you know,
But I get it because you weren't there. You weren't there, and it's based on their word. But then would you say that Aaron and Kendra aren't being truthful?
I don't know. I, I don't know.
Okay.
Me
I don't even
personally, me
pay too much enough
personally,
attention to their lives to even
Mhm.
speak on it too much.
Me personally, I can only
That was
say what
close.
I saw, and I've only seen Velvet on the giving end of the physical abuse. What I personally witnessed in person is Velvet uh, being violent and aggressive towards Eligio, and never the other way. But maybe it happened, but not in front of me. All I've seen is her being violent.
It's just whack.
Okay, so
People get upset when they
Libby
provoke somebody and then get mad at how they respond. That shit whack. It's whack.
Libby has a question. She says, Kaja, do you have any animosity towards Velvet?
Um, no, but I can say is it something that I learned while I was here about myself is that perhaps one of the reasons why I did initially and continue to have feel friction for Velvet's energy was because I think what she represented to me was like my mother, which my mother I felt is that she had taken me away from my father who my father had raised me for several years in the in the forest, kind of in nature. And so my mom, was responsible for, the federal government coming and taking me by gunpoint away from my father when I was little, and bringing me back to live in New York. And so I think that that carried on. And just as I've talked about how Eligio and baby Eliana represented my father and me, and our my personal story, how I related to him. I concluded after some while is that I think that I had built up animosity towards Velvet, uh, and basically like flipping her, like she represented my mother. Just
Right.
so I think that that definitely um had me, fueled some of my issues that I had to deal with and work through. And so I think that because I can acknowledge that, um and now I can acknowledge Velvet's not my mother. She's a young lady, you going through her struggles, and her in quite intense journey as well. So I respect her for dealing with so much at a young age. And although I know I have spoken of negative things in my encounters with her, um I do wish her all the best now. I'm glad that she's working through her things and getting everything situated. And if you say she's in a good, healthy spot, I'm happy for her, happy for the babies. And
I promise you, I wouldn't even joke around about that.
yeah,
She is.
yeah. And so, so I want everything the best for her and her family. And whatever kind of animosity I have, I'm now, it's gone. I'm giving it up to the Lord. So
Now, what would you say? What would you say to people who say, "Well, Velvet was just defending herself when she had to fight Leo"?
but not what I saw. When I saw her being aggressive, he was not doing anything to her. So I can only speak on what I saw.
Understand? Well, all right. Well, I don't really have much else. And I want to get me some coffee, and I need to go back to editing. I have a video of Jax. As you guys know, Jax is out.
Uh-huh.
He got out, but he still has a case pending, but he's proclaiming the kingdom. And I'm editing that video. I want to get it out tonight
All right.
if I can.
Oh, and
If I
you should consider is those I had sent you some beats, and they
Oh
were
yeah.
from
You
and
did.
they were Talib's personal, like he's a beat producer. And not only that, but there was a couple of I think the beats that I sent you were actually from,
Patah.
yeah, from Patah,
He
who
just made.
just wait here what
Yeah, my friend Patah just made. He produced Coi Lerais' newest single, the Isabel Marant.
Wow. Did y'all email that to me or
Probably. Yeah, we
yeah,
probably
you said
some
you
of
got
his.
it, but I never.
I did?
Yeah,
I'd be scared to mess with YouTube. What I was on suspension, right?
no, but the oh no, I didn't know you're on suspension. But these
Girl, they suspended me. They suspended me from it was in June. They suspended me because they said that I'm not allowed to reuse content without commentary. And also, even if a musician or an artist allows me to use their
huh?
music, I cannot use their music.
Well,
What?
I mean, they're just beats though. They
Yeah,
words in them.
Yeah,
weird.
it's just beats though.
Well, I'm gonna start using them after they put me back on. I'm waiting to be put back on because I really did like which one? Let me look at it. There was one. I think I messaged you back about the one that I
Yeah, yeah, we
liked.
remember. We remember.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like. Is it inspired?
Probably so. It's either that
Inspired.
one or
Yeah,
the
I
other. Yeah,
think we sent that one.
yeah, we did.
That
Yeah,
we
I
we
really.
can re email it to you.
If we need to.
But
Well, I really. I really definitely want to integrate that because and I like the beats. So Talib, tell me a little bit about your music. What do you only do beats?
Yeah, it's just beats. I just kind of like to express myself creatively through the sounds, and it's something that
Okay.
what oh I got
Just
to turn.
turn it towards
Oh,
you.
excuse me.
I'm like, this is
I like to express myself through music, and I started making beats when I was like 14 or 15. So
Hmm.
I just kind of continued it on, especially when I met my friend Pata. When I met him, he was that's what he was doing. He was a producer and engineer and mixer and master. He knew how to do all of those things. So when I met him, he kind of just helped cultivate that energy in me, and I just started kind of playing around with FL Studio and different apps that make music. He's doing
Nice.
really
Okay.
well. My friend is doing really well. We used to live together, but his latest beat, his latest production is Coil Ray's newest single, Isabel Marant. If you pull it up on YouTube, you see it
What?
by Moth King 64 and Real Life Auto. Moth King 64 is one of my friends, one of my best friends.
Definitely will check him out.
Hmm?
Let me see if there's any questions in the chat before I get up out of here. Let's see. Oh, Mo Light got a whole bunch of stuff going on. What you say, Mo Light? What about? Okay, so what about individuals that would say, what about the abuse you see online? Would you also kind of equate that to not knowing what was done ahead of time or?
Correct. Is he say, she say. With many of the people that the public sees online, they don't know. There's no way they could know a person's character. They could only see what they see on camera. It's just like watching any other reality show. Like you don't know how those people are, but you can see how the producers and editors edit the show so people can watch it because they're gonna make it good content, and that's it. It has no, it doesn't mean it's a accurate depiction of a person's character.
Mm, I'm on the fence with that one, Tilly, because I'm telling, well, I'm not really even on the fence. There have been actual people who came out and said that they even Kite, he mentioned that he saw his visual account, the man you say you respect.
Mhm.
He said that he saw Malia get kicked in the stomach.
Okay,
he did say that.
that's what he said. That's it. That's just what he said. And he say, she say. That's why we say it.
I didn't see it. I know that.
I understand what you're saying from a male perspective, but from a female perspective, there's some truth to something. There's some truth in there. There's some
Think
truth in there
you
somewhere,
ain't never
and we gonna find
a
it.
lie or something just to get people's attention or just to joke around. You ain't never done anything like that.
That he's never beat anybody.
No, I'm saying you personally, or even people. Sometimes people will bend the truth a little bit to keep things a little bit more interesting.
Right, but what about Maisha, his baby's mother, Osiris's mother, when he beat her till her eyes were closed, and there were charges brought against him for aggravated assault, but she helped to work with the prosecution because she felt sorry for him
If he admitted
to get a lesser,
it,
huh?
He
if
admitted.
that is what it is.
Yeah,
If
he
he admitted
admitted
it.
to that. So that did happen as far as I've heard.
So my question to you:
It did
if
happen.
a person chose to act in violence one time, does that make the person the whole person evil or bad or whatever if they did something once, even if they did it twice? Does that define that person now?
It's not a defining moment, but it shows behavior.
A pattern, a potential pattern.
It shows
I
behavior.
respect that.
It shows the potential for what is possible.
Oh,
Now,
that's true.
I'm not saying that all I can go off of is what I saw with my own two eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was following carbonation for a very long time. And I don't disagree with you that a lot of the sciences, because they've been around since before we were even thought of, are actually definitely positively on point. Like people could try to dispute biology all they want.
Mm-hmm.
It's a class taught in high school and in college. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so they could dispute it all they want. But what I saw with my own two eyes is, like if that was his idea of getting people's attention to lock into the knowledge, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's
Period.
I think he chose. He talked about it often. Chose to make his life public, the bad and the good, just so people can accept him for how he is. And he wanted to be clean and keep his conscience clean. You know, how some people will do evil things or bad things and they don't want to tell anybody, or they want to keep it in the dark. And he just chose to be totally open and vulnerable about it. And he did something that most people, especially most black people, will not do. He chose to be accountable about the things that he did to harm people. And he also chose to be a fall guy, meaning when he came out with the group Carbonation, he pretty much said whatever the group does that's bad, they're just going to blame it on him anyway. So he chose to be the fall guy. He chose to be a martyr. So he was ready for that lifestyle already.
Okay, we can agree to disagree, respectfully,
I
because
don't know
I
who
don't agree
disagrees.
with that.
Okay.
I get where you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I understand your perspective, and I can respect it. You know what I'm saying? I can't take nothing away from that because that's you, and this is me just keeping it a whole stack with you. You know more of him than I do.
Maybe.
No matter the fact that I've been watching, you've actually interacted. You know that, so you it's kind of like if I was cool with somebody, or if I was like I knew somebody personally, like what they was real life, not they Facebook life. You know how people
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook post all this jibber jab about how they so happy in their relationship, yet you know personally
Oh yeah.
that they both cheating on each
Oh
other.
yeah. I know some stuff. I just ain't gonna say
You know, yeah,
I know some stuff.
like that. So that's why I'm like, we could respectfully disagree because I don't know him like that. I just have to go off of what I saw on the internet.
What?
And what I saw on the internet was absolutely jarring. It painted a picture of an abusive, narcissistic,
Word.
like really.
Narcissist is not the correct word. The correct word is sociopath.
Okay, I would say yeah.
A narcissist. People who use that word, and there's no disrespect. People have to understand the word narcissist comes from Narcissus. Narcissus fell in love with his reflection and was turned into a flower. That's what the story of Narcissus or
so
Narcissus even
somebody
comes
who
from.
really
It
loves
literally means a
themselves.
person who loves themselves. Literally, by definition, a person who loves themselves. However, there was a connotative definition or connotative meaning put on the word. Sociopaths are the people that really don't care about anybody else's feelings other than their own.
Yeah, you're right. But that's basically what I saw, and it was, quite jarring and alarming. But part of me knew that a lot of the tough Tony stuff he was acting was just an act.
Yeah.
But I don't know if all of the verbal accounts of different members, Joy, um, Solar, Kite, Velvet, Kendra, Aaron, who else? There's quite a few others that I just can't. Oh, Mama Nine, Mama Nine, and Wizzy
Uh-huh.
have all come out and said that there was, some inappropriate things happening there.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Every person you named also admitted that they were violent too.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. 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 That's all.
They did. But correct me if I'm wrong, Talib. You being a leader, because you are a leader. You lead by example, don't you?
Example. Example. Correct. 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 Ain't no if, ands, or buts about it. You're right.
Okay. I'm just saying.
It's just okay. Well, you know, one thing carpenters talk about is when you point the finger, you miss the point. The reason why people say
Yeah.
it is because it's about accountability. If we're pointing the finger at what everybody else did, you got three more. I learned that in high school. My coach used to say you need to stop pointing your finger because every time you point your finger, you got three of them pointing right back at you. That's
Hmm.
about accountability. Don't be looking at what everybody else doing. Look at what you're doing. Pay attention to your stuff.
Okay. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go do my editing, y'all.
She wants to drink her coffee.
I know she
Talib.
want to drink that coffee.
I have my coffee right here.
Oh,
Actually, it's
okay.
cold,
All
but
right.
I'm nursing a cold cup of coffee
All right.
because I want to get this video out because it's funny.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, love.
We'll be watching it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Super
And
grateful.
this was a great little build.
Oh yeah,
Great.
I'm always building.
So thankful.
Well, y'all are welcome to come back anytime you want.
Okay.
Grateful.
And anybody else out there that's listening, y'all out there in the bushes. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Anybody else out there in the bushes that want to come on and have a platform where you could express yourself freely, not feeling any type of judgment or anything like that, because that's just not me. I'm not going to do that. I don't have time for that. I understand that everybody has a perspective, everybody has their own life to live. Like everybody has their journey. Whether that looks like a crooked road, whether that looks like a bunch of potholes, whatever it looks like, it's theirs. It's yours. It's your own. So you're welcome to come on the platform and share your views, thoughts, feelings. Any of y'all, ex Carbonation members, current members. I know I be hard on the current members though. I do. I be going hard on them. I be going hard on them. They drop down. Well, y'all, thank you guys for being with me tonight. And Kaja and Talib, the leader of Light Crown Melanin. That was a special surprise because I didn't know I was getting, well, no, I knew I was getting Kaja and Talib, but it was a refreshing conversation. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Please, if you have any other questions, drop it in the comments. If you didn't say something or ask something that you wanted the answer to, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'll see if I could get an answer for you. I will also be sure to put Kaja's YouTube channel link in the description of this video, as well as her IG and Light Crown Melanin and Talib's IG. So y'all could check them out. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get back to editing. Y'all know that's my best favorite space. Y'all know I like editing my videos and posting my videos and doing my little premieres and stuff. Y'all know how it goes down. But y'all yourself, this was a good one. Um, I appreciated Mo Light, don't pass. I appreciated you guys like, jumping in the comments and giving me different things to kind of ask, and hey, if you like the answer or if you didn't like the answer, we got the answer. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'm back to editing later.